Cheng.
Preparing. Oh, and then I should tell all my
Yeah,
followers that we're live.
I see it. I see it. Yeah, I think it still says upcoming, but yeah.
Okay, we are live, though, no one's had a chance to come in just yet.
Let me let me kind of do a little something here. Episode 5, Danny attacks. Yes, Danny does attack.
Then
Hello. So can you all hear me?
We sh
Yes,
we
I hear
should be
you.
live. We should be
We are
live.
Okay.
we are
All
live,
right.
Danny.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna,
Okay. So
yeah,
yeah.
go ahead. Yeah, so this is hey everybody, this is we got Danny, we got Matt, we got Tracker, we got Cat, which is me. Sorry, hey everybody. Yeah, so we got Danny here, we got Matt, we got Tracker, and we got myself, Cantonese Cat here. We're showing here one of Danny's charts. We're gonna go through Tesla here first. This is the daily chart for Tesla. So please, Danny, enlighten us.
Okay. Thank you. So I'm going to start with panel 1 on the daily chart. So as you can see, the ribbon, both the blue ribbon and the red ribbons, form like an inverse head and shoulder pattern. Hello?
Yeah.
yeah, we see that.
Yes,
Yeah.
we
Okay.
see that. Yeah, it
Yeah.
looks very,
Okay.
very nice in terms of that.
Yes. Um, and my concern is that for it to play out successfully, we need lots of wealth accumulation. So if you take a look at panel 3, we find that the wealth accumulation is almost flat at the moment. So as you can see from the red bar represents wealth accumulation. It's totally flat for probably for more than 3 weeks. However, I still find a quite bullish sign on the daily chart, which is a gradual decline in the retail accumulation, which is the green bar in panel 3. So you find that so long as the retail investors don't come in, we still find Tesla is showing some signs of bullishness. And also, if you go back to panel 1, the red candle, so as we have mentioned lots of times before, the red candle is usually a bullish signal. So it gives us assurance that the stock is going to be bullish for some time, actually. However, there are some criteria which Tesla has to meet for the bullishness to continue. For example, in panel 1, for this bullish trend to keep going, Tesla has to close above $181. So this is the first criteria, which means that if the daily candles are closed below, that would be 170 or 169.8. So let's just make it 170 for easy calculation. So if the price level falls below 170, so this bullishness will be destroyed. In other words, that the bullish basis will be invalidated.
Is
So
this
these are the
based
two
on is this based on the fact that the red candle, if the price is able to get above the red candle consistently, then there's confirmation. But if it goes below the red candle, then it gets invalidated. Is that the reason why why you come?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's why I have every time when I'm checking the red candle or the yellow candle, I have to focus on the two levels, the highest points and also the lowest point. So usually above the highest points, the uptrend continue.
Hmm.
So when the price level falls below the lowest point of that candle, so the downtrend continues. So just that simple. So that's why for this inverse head and shoulder pattern to play out successfully in panel 1, I think we need more wealth accumulation. And for the time being, a decline in retail accumulation is a good sign from my perspective. And also, if you get down to panel 4, now we see MACD just complete the golden cross. However, I'm not sure whether it's going to play out successfully or not, depending on more wealth accumulation in the following days or weeks.
Yeah, right now it's just been kind of going sideways for like a few weeks
Exactly.
now, and there's not really
sideways.
Yeah, your red candle
Yeah.
and yellow candle has just been like alternating. So it's been hard to really establish a trend. Even for panel two, you can see like usually the
It
greens
looks,
like bear
yeah,
trend.
it
Yeah.
looks like a straight line.
Yeah,
So
it's like straight and it
it's,
changes from like
yeah.
purple to green all the time. Like there's no trend right now on the daily. So yeah.
And also one more thing before I forget. So if you take a look at the right-hand side, there's a volume shelf. And can you see
Yeah.
the volume shelf on the right-hand side? So
These,
the
these
highest
big,
volume,
yeah.
yeah, the highest volume is around 173.5. So
Yeah.
it means that if Tesla stands above this price level, then I think it's going to be all right. If it falls below 173 or just falls below the lowest points of the red candle, which is 170, then I think Tesla is going to end up having a downtrend,
Yeah.
just based on my reading of the daily chart.
Yeah.
If I may, just a quick note, the people that are new to
Okay.
Danny's charts, if you look to the left side, that's where you can see the price
Yes.
points written out.
Yeah. The left side.
Yeah. You're talking about the volume shelf?
Well, not only the volume shelf, but just also if you just want to, if you're looking at the charts, a lot of people have the prices on the right side, but here prices
I
are on
see
the
what you're
left
saying.
side. So
Yeah,
look to
I
the
see what
left
you're saying.
side to see where the actual price points are
Yeah.
in
I see
regards to his chart.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. They also, the volume shelf themselves also have some key numbers over here. Sometimes it's being obscured by the candles, but you can see it over here too. And,
Yes. Exactly.
and the price are going to be on the left side. So the couple of things here, look at the chart too. It looks like there's not really like a ribbon one way or another too. It's just been
Yeah.
kind of oscillating and
Yeah.
they
Exactly.
direction. So daily is going to be like a little bit ambiguous. You want to go to a higher time frame and talk a little bit more? Do you have anything else to say about the daily?
If I may, I just want to say that the the retail has just been holding its breath, right? Through the
Yeah.
whole
Yes.
shareholder debacle, and they may
Mm.
still hold their breath a little bit longer. And I feel like we need to see a lot more disillusionment among retail for it to drop off,
Mm.
sell into the whales, and then like a big drop will give us enough escape velocity going down to then pull up and break through.
Yeah.
That's just my idea.
Yeah. You don't think the last 3 years is disillusioned enough?
I think they demand more. It's like you keep turning up the heat slowly on the
Yeah.
frog. He doesn't realize he's being boiled alive.
Yeah.
And so we just, in order to make the retail jump now, they really have to turn up that heat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
I see what you're saying. I'm going to move on to the weekly chart because the daily
Okay.
has just been really ambiguous, right? We'll see whether or not we
Mm.
can see any potential trend change here on the weekly. And I agree. I mean, like right now it's just been going sideways. Sometimes you do need to have something big to happen to serve as a catalyst in terms of price. Even yeah, sometimes going down real quick is actually not a bad idea for price to go up. I wonder if we already had that though a couple months ago when price went down to 140, But this is the weekly chart, Danny. Please feel free and
Yes.
take over.
Yes. And also you will find that Tesla is just moving sideways.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially let's focus on the last few bars in panel three. So once again, you will find that the wealth accumulation is still flat, has been flat for over the past few weeks. Over the past few weeks. Yeah, so actually it's quite similar. So an in-depth look at the really chart, we show you that if you go back to the very beginning of panel three, so you will find a similar pattern. So usually Tesla has a tendency to be stuck for a few weeks.
Mhm.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So thanks, Cap, for pointing out this part. So you will find the similarity between these two patterns. So in panel three, so at the very beginning, so Tesla was stuck for probably 12 to 13 weeks. And this situation has happened once again.
Mhm.
So you will find that, I don't know, but if you take a look at the blue ribbon in panel 1, so the downtrend,
Yep.
we still have a red candle in play.
Mm-hmm.
The last red candle.
Yeah.
So which means that still the bearish trend might be. I just can't say that it's the end of the bearish trend, but hopefully, it's nearing the end.
Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah. If the price level doesn't fall below the lowest point of the red candle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once again, that would be 170 something, the lowest point of the last red candle.
Yeah.
And yeah, Tesla has just been range bound, trading sideways between 171 and 181 without any significant breakthrough.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of see a few things here that are a little bit more positive, if you will, that goes along with the red buy candle buy signal. Is that the ribbon? First of all, I think these ribbon are probably based on like exponential moving averages, and if you see the red ribbon, sorry, the blue ribbon over here, it's really kind of flattening, and it's becoming less and less thick. Like you can see that the downtrend on the weekly seems to be decelerating, right? And then on top of that, you're seeing the price is really trying to attack the blue ribbon from underneath. So these are, a little bit more positive, findings to it. And also, if you look at a weekly, like you still have significant retail, but it looks like there's a trend of it decreasing, kind of like how it was last time, right? Like you were saying. And you also had a bullish, MACD cross on weekly, even though I don't really generally like. I know Matt loves the MACD. No, I'm just kidding. But you did have a little bit of a weekly MACD bullish cross over here. You do have like declining retail, and you do have like the blue ribbon is really starting to flatten here. So it's getting weaker and weaker in terms of its resistance, right? And we can see the same thing with the bull market support band too, if we ever put up other charts too. But it looks like there might be a chance for this to play out. It doesn't have to, obviously, because we're still kind of hitting resistance. But it's important too. We're just kind of oscillating right here at this big giant volume shelf right here, right around 178 So we're trying to pick a direction, but the weekly chart is still unclear. That's what you're trying to say, right?
But once again, the good thing is that there's a decline in retail accumulation, just like what we saw on the daily charts. So actually, there are two things which are quite similar between the daily chart and also the weekly chart.
Yeah.
First of all, the wealth accumulation is flat.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they are like, what they are going to do. The second thing, the second thing is good because we find a gradual decrease in retail accumulation.
Yeah, that's another positive, definitely over the last 3 months. You can see that there's less than this green bar over here. Yeah, so that's a positive thing. But it's still kind of trends right now. So
yeah, and also one more thing that I want to share on the weekly chart is that in panel 3, so even though Tesla was doing something like 280 or $300, you will find that the wealth accumulation at that time wasn't very strong.
Yeah.
So around 60 something. So for a stock to keep breaking all-time high, based on my observation and analysis, wealth accumulation has to meet at least 80 to 90% all the time. So that's my if you take a look at the wealth accumulation in panel 3, the wealth accumulation wasn't strong enough to push Tesla to another higher level. So that's why Tesla failed to break all-time high last year.
Yeah, it's I mean, obviously if you base on like these momentum indicators, Danny's not going to be in Tesla. He's gonna leave it alone, and then I think even you want to look at the
I'm sorry, I ran away.
You're not sorry. You should not be sorry. You should see what you're seeing. But I can show the month and see whether or not you see anything different here. So this is the monthly chart.
Yes.
Yeah, so go ahead, man.
Okay, so the monthly chart. So once again, the whole stock was influenced by the blue ribbon in panel 1, which is not really a very positive sign for the time being. And you will also find the last yellow candle, which we are not so happy to see it.
Yeah.
So in other words, the bearish trend still dominate unless there's a monthly close above $250. Well, I don't know. I don't know whether this is possible for in a short time, but I really hope that Tesla can close above 250 level on the monthly chart, not just on the daily or weekly chart, but on the monthly chart. And however, if you take a look at panel 3, you will find once again a gradual decline, a gradual decrease in in wealth accumulation, the red bar. So that's what it partly explained why Tesla lacks the momentum to run.
Yeah.
And also, and the retail investors have been stepping in.
Yeah.
Over the last year.
Yeah. I mean, I guess looking at this, and also if you look at the like monthly back if you believe in that, then it's still trending down, like maybe starting to curl a little bit over here, but it's still a downtrend, it's still less than zero. So like there's no confirmation that there's a trend reversal really. I think there's a few strategies. Like if you're Danny, you're gonna wait for red candle to appear. You don't care whether or not
Yes.
it's down here, right? That's
Yeah.
what your strategy would be.
Yes,
Right?
I don't really care much about the price. I don't want to time the bottom with others because I don't know which price is the bottom. So I don't mind chasing Tesla at a high level if I can really confirm that the trend is bullish rather than bearish. Yeah, I have to make sure that the bottoming process has completed before I jump in again.
Yeah. And for Tesla, there's a lot more noise here too, just because it's a very, very volatile stock in terms of your buy signal and sell signal. But like you see the buy signal over here around, I guess this is like around
Yes.
20. But before the parabolic bull run, you have a buy signal here. So if you like just kind of shut your brain off and just wait for a buy signal and you don't necessarily have the time to bottom down here a few months before that, then you're still going to make significant gains. That's going to be the strategy that Danny employs, right? Yeah, and then
Exactly.
you see a sell signal up here, which is not perfectly timing the top, but you see a sell signal right around here. Again, there's still going to be a little bit of a noise with the sell signal, buy signal, sell signal. But if you end up following this, and you sell, buy, sell, you're still going to avoid the big downtrend all the way down to $100. So that's still of value here on the monthly chart, right? So right now you have a sell candle over here. One strategy is to wait for the red candle to come in, which is your strategy. Is that correct, Danny?
Yes, exactly. So once again, for the red candle to play out, we also have to make sure that the wealth accumulation is increasing. Yeah, we need two signals. We need two signals, not just the red candle, but also the increase in wealth accumulation, and hopefully a decrease in retail accumulation, another signal. So once again, three signals. So for us to monitor the price levels of Tesla.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna have maybe Matt to kind of chime a little bit too, but like overall, we do think, I mean, this is a growth company, even though it's been not growing much based on numbers over the last few months to last year. But this is a growth company. There's no reason to think this is going to stop growing. So there's going to be some downtrend. If you get a little bit too far away from the monthly blue ribbon, price tends to get end up gravitating back into the ribbon. And when that happens, you might potentially have a trend reversal, right? So that happened during around 2019 to 2020. And this also happened here at the more recent bottom at like $100. And looks like we're currently also having a very, very similar look. So there are different strategies. Like for me, sometimes I like to catch these falling knives. If I see like a very nice bottom candle over here that we had a couple of months ago, that looks like a hammer bottom over here, I might try to just, hey, I'm gonna buy in slowly. I'm not gonna, be like too cute about it and just try to accumulate down here this range, because it does look like it might, have a trend change, but there's no guarantee, right? There's no confirmation based on your chart. I guess it's the difficult part.
Hang on. Do you think I just noticed one more trend on the monthly charts. Do you think the inverse head and shoulder pattern is in play? on
You
the
can
monthly
say
chart.
that, but it's like I
Yeah,
don't like to, because if you kind of talk about inverse head and shoulders, like first of all,
yeah,
these patterns may not always play out. I think Trek
exactly.
very strongly about it, but
Yeah,
and the other thing is if you look at inverse head and shoulders is on a diagonal, and diagonal generally have like even less success rates.
mm,
But the
mm,
general thought is, yes, could this be an accumulation pattern where whales are kind of coming
mm,
back and there's
mm.
increase in demand and we can be breaking out this range soon? It's possible based on the morphology, but I don't think
Yeah,
there's any guarantee unless if we also look at other things too to kind of find support.
yeah.
Anything else, Danny, you want to add? I might want to ask
Uh,
you to kind of weigh in.
yes. So if you take a look at panel two, which I
Yeah,
normally don't elaborate much,
yeah,
we find that the trend line is still bearish,
yeah,
indicated by the green line. The green line.
yeah,
Now the purple line is bullish. The green line is bearish. So
yeah,
we are still in a bearish trend on the monthly chart.
yeah,
And also you will find the small green bars are doing lower high and lower low
yeah,
at the same time. Yeah. So
yeah.
based on these two signals, the bearish trend is still with us when it comes to Tesla.
Yeah. Tracker, you want to take the screen? Matt, you want to take the screen? I'm going to stop sharing here for a second. Please feel free to add anything you want to add to that. So
Let's look at Matt's stuff because my stuff gets a little busy. Matt's,
yeah,
let's keep everything
Mm.
kind of clear. Matt, if you don't mind coming in,
Yeah.
and I'll just take a
Yeah,
moment
sure.
while he's getting set up to
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
because I think Matt, you also
Yeah.
think that things are just going sideways, but you're looking at like a little bit different time frames. You look at moving averages. So please go ahead and
Yeah.
add what your thoughts are.
Yeah, but just to give more confidence to Danny, it's like essentially the Ichimoku is around that 170 price, what he was saying, that price needs to hold. And the
Yes.
resistance of the 21 EMA is around the low 180. So it's basically the same thing he's saying, that it's just stuck in a range. And if it closes below this level, it's going to go down. If it closes above, then possibly it could break to 200. That's what I'm
exactly.
seeing.
And could you give us the exact dollar values for the your upper and lower Ichimoku bands there?
Well,
The audience.
the conversion line is 168.84, and then the 21 EMA is 183.76. So those are the exact
Awesome.
values. But that'll probably change on Monday morning when everything gets updated, though. So
Exactly. These lines are constantly moving, but just to kind of give people
Yeah.
an idea, like this is about
Yeah.
where these lines are floating right now.
yeah, the conversion line will probably stay the same because it's like the 9-period high, 9-period low divided by 2. So that'll probably just be the same.
And I think it's important to also kind of think about because Danny's system, he's not really trying to time the exact bottom. He's not trying to call the bottom.
Yeah.
He's going to let data kind of be. He's going to be like the Fed. He's going to be data dependent. So
Yes.
Yeah.
So the question would be like based on what you're seeing, Matt, whether or not you think that we may have bottomed in terms of the greater scale, whether or not it matters as a trader, and whether or not like what are your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, I really think that this low right here is the bottom. It's like no matter what, even if this gets lost, I really think this is going to hold. And that'll bring me to the linear scale here of the GAN,
I
which
just want to weigh
will
in that
basically be this angle.
I completely agree that I
Yeah,
believe that
this
is
will
also
be
the bottom.
Like 151, maybe you could wick through down to the 140s again, maybe 145, I don't know. But honestly, this angle is proven to be true, even though it wicked down to the next angle there, but it just was very brief. But this one should be ultimate support, low 150s, high 140s, like if everything did break down. I don't know if Danny agrees with that or not, but that's what I think.
Yes, totally agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd love to see.
Yeah,
yeah.
so
As far as I remember, there's still a small gap between 146 or 147. I can't exactly remember the price, but as far as I remember, there's a small
Like-
gap, which is
like on the daily chart,
not
right?
unfilled. Yeah,
Yeah,
in
on the daily
chart,
chart.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I get asked about
Oh,
this
yeah.
gap all the time. In fact, just in the YouTube
Yeah,
chat
right here.
Yes.
this morning, I got asked this question about that gap.
Yeah. Yeah, so we got
Yeah,
lots of questions asking us whether the gap would be filled.
Yeah. I mean, Tesla, if you go back in time, like some gaps never got filled, Like
Exactly.
down here, this gap never got filled right
Yeah,
here.
I know how you feel about gaps, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's but
And
it's
also,
Gotta fill them.
gaps
I
are
point this out to my
like
followers.
hypothetical girlfriend. It would be nice if we get it, but but if you don't,
Yeah.
it might move on, and you have to move on.
And if you look at it on the
Exactly.
4-hour chart, there's not really a gap there. There actually is pre-market and after hours data
Oh
there.
yeah.
It just doesn't show up on the daily
Yeah,
chart.
that's true. And that also leads me to like, let's go back to the weekly chart.
Okay.
So it's just basically, this is the wide range right here. And oh, what am I doing? My mouse is messing up again. I never got a new one, Kat. Never got a new one. But
We need to get you more subscribers so you can start monetizing, make money buying mouse.
yeah, they're so expensive. No, but the one thing I want to really point out, like, I don't know, like I've showed this many times, like this lower arc has been massive resistance all the way down. And
Okay.
it's going to be no different really this time. If this ends up holding and it does come up here, like it'll probably get rejected again, whether it's like 225 or 29 or later in time, like the lower 200s as well. So essentially this angle is going to be resistance and this arc is going to be resistance sometime in the future, whenever that might happen,
Yeah, Danny, I want you to look at this. Like all of this is predetermined. Like he didn't really try to fit the GAN lines and arcs into what the price action is currently. Like all of this stuff is really trying to figure out mathematically based on what price action has done based on previous data. And he's been tracking this for quite some time, has actually been following these resistance and support zone pretty well. So just so you know, Danny.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. This is what what you call GAN theory.
Yeah.
So,
Did you see the log scale one that I showed a while ago with like the 27 or 2800 price target? Have you seen that one?
You should
Oh,
because
please
I
bring it
know
up again.
Danny's not a Cathie Wood fan. So
He's been burned too many times. Before I zoom out, I just want to like reiterate this 382 on log scale. This is also a confluence of support as well of why things are still holding. So like these levels, the low 170s are super important, like Danny was saying. If that gets lost, it could go back down. And I'll just take that off, and it could go back down and retest this arc right here. Right. Let me just zoom out.
I would love to see one last clean touch of that arc and then zoom.
Yeah. Could be, next week would be low 150s if it did touch the arc or beyond, But this is what I wanted to show you, Danny, really is history is repeating itself with the arcs. I've mentioned this many times. So like we can see here that price is riding down this first arc here, did a V bottom, and then shot up to the next arc, just like right here, riding down the arc, a V bottom, then back up to the arc and flipped it to support. And then it was riding the top arc down, and then it finally took off. And if we go over here in time, it's doing the same thing, riding the top arc down, and then possibly to shoot up higher, right? And another thing is each orange level has been hit perfectly. Like this one was a major resistance and support zone for a long time, usually just support. And now the blue level right here is also a major support resistance line. But once that breaks, the pattern is it's going to go to the next level, and the next level is 2800.
2800.
So that's
okay.
2800.
Yeah.
So it coincides with the predict target of Cathie Wood. 200. I still remember she predicted 2500. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, I think 2800 was the bull case. And I think I mean Matt already had this target way before Cathie announced it recently.
Yeah.
So if you look at
even her target is a little bit retarded as far as time goes.
Yeah, there's no guarantee in terms of time, but like if you look at again, like if you want to, Matt, you want to elaborate to Danny in terms of what it shows in terms of cycle, in terms of timing.
Yeah, so these vertical lines are basically time cycles, and you can see the top was around the vertical line on each one. It was a little bit after on this one here, right? So that means if it hits the 2800 in this vertical line, that would be January of 2027, right? Or if it went a little bit later, it could be like March, April, May, June, whatever. But what Kathy Wood was saying is essentially it would be what, 2029, which in time right here, let's go like summertime, that could be right here. So I mean that's also a possibility, but
I see 10,000.
yeah. Oh yeah, the next line up there. Don't get me started. It's 41,000. Yeah.
Woohoo!
That's the hopium price right there.
Yeah. So Matt, you're more bullish than Kathy Wood, is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm just following what this has shown in the past, and like honestly, each level has been a perfect target so far. So the trend is your friend, right? And essentially, this should be the next target. This should be the next target. And Kathy, what I think said 2,600 to 3,100, I believe, right? So that could go up a little bit above the arc too, which these are above the line, which these did go above the line quite a bit. So there is a possibility of even like a 3,000, 4,000, whatever, 5,000 Tesla during that same time period. Yeah.
Yeah, no, thanks for sharing this stuff. It's fascinating. Look at just how well it respected the arc, break through and try, just back test it. Now it got stuck between the arc and the horizontal line right there. So that's basically telling you a whole tale in terms of what it's doing.
But yeah, the biggest thing that I wanted to point out too is like once it flips an arc to support, then it just gravitates up, and this has been the trend. And it looks like now is no different, right? It flipped that arc to support. And now it's writing it down as support. So once it's ready, once it's confirmed finding a new higher low, then it'll just take off. And that's what this theory is saying.
So you guys are like all of you like saying that 150 is for certain. You're saying people is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, like I really want to see 170 hold, and I think it will hold, but if it doesn't, then yeah, the 150s will probably be next.
Yeah, because so far you still have support. You still have very important support. It bounced off the 168 level, which is the your weekly conversion line on the Ichimoku cloud, almost perfectly. So it's still a support. It's just going sideways. It's still range bound. So there's to me, and Tracker might disagree with this. To me, I don't think there's necessarily a need for it to go down to the 150s. But if it does, I can understand why. I guess what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have to
You got
disagree
something
with
to add,
you.
Tracker?
I would just say that I have been calling for price near 156 for almost over a month now. And only recently when I tried to doing Gann charting, I came up with this new idea that maybe, well, let's see. Let me show you guys my idea. I'll go ahead and share my screen here.
Share your screen. Share your screen.
Here we go. I got it up faster than last time. Let me just hide the floating meeting controls, which is in the way. Okay, here we go. So this is the chart. This is my live chart that I had up right until yesterday. This is all yesterday's. These are 1 hour candlesticks. And I'm constantly looking for, directional unicorn has been awesome because, I'm sorry, not directional. I just mixed up two people. Directional investor has been sending me sharing these charts with everybody. And then one of my followers, Randy, keeps forwarding them to me in my live shows. I'm like, yes, that's a great idea. Keeps looking for these measured moves down. Let's see. Oh, I want to lock this in. All right, so these get really big. Let's turn this to 4-hour chart. So right here, this is a huge move, right? It even caught me by surprise. I was expecting it. I was not expecting it to be this big off of the 138.80 low. I knew it was going to be heading up hard. I did not expect it within just like, a few days or over a weekend, really, right? This was Friday, then Monday, and then this was a Friday, and then the next Monday, the Monday the 29th, it gapped up and went right to almost 200. And I could feel like all of the apes, the Wall Street bet apes, smashing that 201 buy order, 201 buy order. And then everyone else is just smashing the 199 sell order, 199 sell order. And and it never it just it got up to 198.87. As hard as just right, you could the feel of the 200 limit was palpable in the very moments that it was taking place. And then we come back down to 167.41. And then ever since then, I just had this idea that it really needs a measured move from there. But then look what we had is we got, oops, not this one. Let me get this out of the way. It made it made like this is, I'm looking for A, B, C, and we got more B. And so now I got to move it up here. And so now this measure move gives us close to the 61.8% fib at 161.75. So I'm still looking for a move down to complete an ABC at least to 161.75. And possibly, this is Matt's 71%. I never used the 71% until I took his course. So 156.22 possibly. Then usually I look for my after the 618, I look for the 764 at 152.98. And I just started like just typing them all out. Like, all right, if and when this stuff goes down, I'm gonna be looking for every single one of these as a possible, place for it to stop. The last one being the prediction. This was the prediction I had at the bottom. I was calling for 143.89. Really, I came across it since I saw Cantonese Cat's chart in December of 2023, where he was showing us all what it looked like. Chart here.
Yeah, so Danny, just to give you some background, so Tracker has really kind of predicted the local high, right, close to 300, and he was really calling for around 150s or 140s based on what he was seeing, based on like early wave pattern. And it panned out very well actually. Like his greater pattern actually panned out very well, based on what he was looking at when price was at 300. He thought that it was going to be resistance and it was going to go down to like the 150s, range, and it ended up panning out. Just so you know.
Yeah, I can remember the exact chart that let me just pop up again. I can remember the post that you made, Dr. Cat, where you circle these three highs.
Yeah, at that point, I was looking more like whether or not the monthly Shimoku cloud was going to serve as support, and I thought it could, because when we get support, I tend to have a little bit more of a bullish lean, but I was wrong. Like Tracker saw this, and he saw that it could potentially be a fractal, like a smaller fractal.
Exactly, and I saw this.
Yeah, he saw that, and then he started seeing a very similar pattern,
and then so by the time it was by December, I was just looking for this high right here, which we got in the Satan really. Everyone's looking for the Santa rally, and I was looking for the Satan really. And once we got this this B wave up, or this wave 4 up in a consolidating 5 waves down, which isn't really 5-wave pattern. It's just like an ending diagonal. But I just went back and I calculated no, I think I did it from here, from this top to this bottom. And I just measured the ratio from here to here and from there to there and then there to there. And from the ratio from here to here and this top, I calculated this price right here. And I didn't know the timing at the time. So I just said, it'd be fun. It looks like it would hit about March, the end of March. So I said, my birthday is March 22nd. Let's just give it to everyone for my birthday. So I predicted 143.89 on my birthday. And what we got was $5 lower and exactly 1 month later. And that's the story of how that was my I guess my first really big claim to fame. No, that's my second big claim to fame. The first one was when I first came on the scene, and Tesla was trading for like in the 260s, and everyone thought this one right here. I arrived on the scene in October. Right here, everyone's looking at this price moving this way. And I said, everyone was looking for it to break out. I said, no,
Mm.
it's not gonna, it's gonna stop, and we're gonna get a reversal, and we're gonna get lower lows. First, I was calling for the 250s, and everyone says, no, you're crazy. It's going to, like, going to 290, it's going to 300. No, and that's when I started getting my following. It was right here, and I started tracking Tesla publicly ever since. And I kind of came, like I said, I came on the scene not by accident. I kind of chose this time because I knew we were coming towards the end of this consolidation cycle. And people who follow me see these triangles on my screen all the time. And all I'm doing with these triangles is I'm tracking a trend in resistance, which is converging with a trend in support. And of course, up until recently, we did not really have a trend for the support. This thing was just kind of hanging out. A lot of people were drawing this line all the way back in the past to like the pandemic low. I think that's right. Yep, the pandemic low. And look, it actually kind of meets up pretty well with the pandemic low.
Yeah.
Just a little off. Anyway, that's my story.
Yeah.
And as
Oh,
far as the
that's really
future,
triangle. Do you need a new mouse? No.
so many triangles. Like if I had to pick the name of the Tesla tracker, which I think has more
Yeah.
cachet, I
Yeah.
think I ought to pick the name triangle tracker.
That's another triangle that's pretty confluent. Yeah.
Yep. So you got
Yeah.
you're just tracking. I'm just tracking this time the support trend had more data, and the
Yeah.
resistance trend was kind of hanging out because this is a bearish triangle. Price was moving down. Right here, it's kind of hard to see after the breakup. Price is starting to move back down to check out a lower price, but it stops and it runs up instead. And I kind
Yeah.
of feel like the maybe I could be wrong. I don't know if it's just psychology, if it's collective unconscious,
Mm.
or if it's the whales just like pressing that buy button right here to get retail to just get excited and run it up the rest of the way for them and sell
Yeah.
it all the whole way. But
Yeah.
let's see. So after going down, it goes up, and then it went down and then up. But then what happens is it made a new lower low here. So the
Yeah.
triangle expands.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have this touch up here.
Yeah.
And eventually it's a 5-wave move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so I'm looking for this to complete. And that doesn't mean that we couldn't get a higher high than we got on Thursday. It could go up a little bit more and then come down. And in fact, my theory of these triangles is typically that you get an establishing touch in the bottom, establishing touch on the top. It moves price around a little bit, but at the end, there's usually a double tap on in this case, the support side, double tap on the resistance side, where this pushes support down enough that everyone thinks it's breaking down, it's breaking down.
Mm-hmm.
They all start selling. Then it gets run up to the other side. So it looks like it's breaking out to the upside, and then they all
Mm-hmm.
start spamming that buy button, and whales keep selling to them. And then they run it back down the other way. And then, disillusionment, despair,
Yeah.
sadness.
I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. I think, like, if we end up doing that, we might not need to go down to like 150s because I think the sentiment is already pretty poor,
Yes, yes,
So
I agree.
yeah, but if it does, then I think it'd be probably buying opportunity. So
And then just one last crazy idea
Yeah.
to show you guys here. Until I did the Gann charting with Mattsby's help in his course, I had this idea that you can kind of see in blue here, that after hitting the 138.80 low, price would run to the top. We'd get a double top up here in the 237 to 245 area. And then it runs back down again, not necessarily to break this trend. This dashed line trend. It comes up to it and then breaks it down one more time. I'm kind of drawing these too far. It should kind of come right to the line and maybe a toe over it, comes back up, and everyone thinks, okay, that's the bottom. And then pushes down again and then it breaks that trend. It sets up a trend, then it breaks it. Everyone freaks out. And that's when the whales get to accumulate the most.
Yeah.
Then it runs up to the other side. And this would be a fantastic set of trades to be able to trade this all the way up, all the way down, and all the way up again, just this range before it just absolutely goes ballistic.
Yeah.
That's my hope. But,
Some
you know, if we
something
only
might
get this much, that's fine too.
something might be going horribly wrong during the election if that is to happen.
It's entirely true. I didn't even think about the election there.
Yeah, something must go horribly wrong with the election if that is to happen. But anyway,
That's right. That's about the right time. All
yeah.
right, I'll share my screen and let someone else of note take over.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm just gonna pull up Danny's NVIDIA chart here. But the whole idea is I think that it could go down further. I think there's a lot of confluence based on just to kind of summarize Tesla before we move on. There's a lot of confluence that you guys are seeing, maybe potentially hit the bottom of the top of the arc that Matt was showing. Danny is basically showing there's no confirmation yet in terms of bull trend, and Tracker is basically showing that yeah, there's a potential that human psychology might end up bringing it down further. If you want to listen to like Danny's journey on his switching from Tesla to NVIDIA, we did plenty of interviews with one another. Like I have it on my YouTube channel if you guys want to go back and see. But Danny has basically switched from Tesla over to NVIDIA, and I just want to pull up his NVIDIA charts over here to kind of show as to why that is. So this is the daily chart for NVIDIA, Danny. Thank you, Matt and Tracker, for sharing your charts. But yeah, please let us know what you think about NVIDIA.
Absolutely. We're just happy to be here.
Danny's asleep.
No, I'm here. So I'm just thinking about how to get started with NVIDIA charts.
Yeah. I mean, I can help you, but I'll let you go.
So on the daily chart, actually, I think there's nothing interesting to comment about. So can we just go to the weekly chart? I think it's more fun, you know.
Yes, sir. Here's the weekly.
Yeah. So the weekly trend. Okay, so on the weekly trend, on the weekly chart, you will find that the bullish trend stays intact. You know, there's no blue ribbon in panel 1. I can't find any downtrend. So the red ribbon represents uptrend. So the uptrend is very steady. It's gradual. It's steep.
It's kind of insane that like the entire weekly chart here for all the data that you have available, there's no blue ribbon. Like it's just it's insane. Anyway,
so but still there are many buying opportunities, you know. So in hindsight, you'll find that all these red candles, most of the time, they have proven to be accurate. So if you just follow these red candles every time, then yeah. So if you take a look at the first red candle in panel 1, so yes, Cat is pointing it. Wow, so let me check the price actions. That would be around hold on. Am I correct? $17.8. Yes, yeah, because it's doing split 10 to 1, so that's why it was trading at $17. Wow, see, this is another 10x backer.
yeah.
And even the last red candle. So, for example, if you miss out all these red candles in the middle part, so don't worry. Still, the market gave you the last chance to buy, which was the last red candle, even though it's very small. So can Cap help me to circle it?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm seeing this like really tiny doji candle.
It's very tiny, too tiny to see, you know. And actually, when I was doing the recording with you, probably 3 to 4 weeks ago, we kept reiterating, we kept repeating the red candle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I remember us saying that size does not matter.
Yes.
And that applies.
Exactly. Yeah.
Size does not matter.
Yeah.
Anyway,
the catchphrase is that size doesn't important. The color matters most.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and
size doesn't matter.
The size doesn't matter at all.
Says you.
But yeah, the red candle here with a very
red
tiny
candle. We need to make sure that it's a red candle. Yeah.
Yeah, it has a
Why
lot
not?
of power, and it just thrusted upwards from there. So anyway, go ahead.
Okay, so now, looking back, the last red candle was totally. I'll just give 100 marks, you know, for the accuracy. Yeah, it was trading at around $88 to $90. So up to now, so say 40 to 50% gain. You know, if people really followed the red candle, and I knew some guys who are on my Patreon, they follow these red candles strictly. So when they show up, when the red candles show up, they bought, and they buy and hold until it's just like me. I buy and hold until the cycle is over. So people keep asking me when you are going to sell Nvidia. Well, actually, I don't follow the daily charts that much, but still I have to post it because I'm doing the Patreon. So that's why I need to update the charts every day. But for myself, I'll just follow the monthly chart
Yeah,
instead of the daily charts because I don't want to trade in and trade out. If you just trade in and trade out too frequently, I'm sure that you are going to miss out
yeah.
the most exciting part of the party.
Because if you look at like, even though this is the weekly chart, I'm going to show the monthly chart next, which has been
Yes.
very extremely accurate. But even the weekly chart, like the buy signal and sell signal are very nice. You do have some sideways consolidation here that has some false
Yes.
one way or another. But overall, you can see a very nice trend for
Yeah.
NVIDIA. When it runs for months. And when it doesn't, when it corrects for maybe like 1 to 3 months, and that's where you see these kind of sell candles over here. But the monthly is more accurate. Regardless, even if you look at a weekly, like, are you going to sell when you look at panel 3? The whales are like upwards like 90 something percent, the entire time.
Exactly.
So, right. And if you look at the monthly, I'm going to put the monthly chart here. Yeah, they're really on this monthly chart. There's only two sell signal, two red yellow candles, and two buy signals here, two red.
Yes.
So Danny, go for it.
Yeah, so so this is the monthly chart, am I correct? So I
Yes,
need
it's
to
a
make sure
monthly.
that
Yeah.
yes, right. Okay. So if you miss out the red candles on the monthly chart, still the weekly chart give you lots of chances. And if you miss out those red candles on the weekly chart, take a look at daily charts. Still, you have plenty of opportunities. So the market always presents us with lots of buying opportunities. So that's why I keep telling people that there's no need to FOMO. There's no need to fear of missing out because the market is full of opportunities, even for a very strong stock like Nvidia. And so if you check out panel 3, you will know why Nvidia keeps breaking all-time high. Because first of all, you need very strong wealth accumulation. So if you go back to the weekly charts, and if you try to compare with the weekly chart of Tesla, and you know why. For Tesla on the weekly chart, the wealth accumulation reached at most 60%. However, even when Nvidia was doing the correction, doing the pullback, the wealth accumulation reached almost 80%. So this explains why Nvidia has the momentum to run. So as a rule of thumb, so we need 50% of the wealth. Basically, this is the basic requirement. We need 50% of the wealth for the stock to run. And we need 75% of the wealth for the stock to soar, to rise to another higher level. And the last criteria is that we don't want to see any green bar, which represents retail accumulation. So if you take a look at the weekly chart or the monthly chart of NVIDIA, we don't find too many green bars. So
Yeah.
this explains the whole scenario.
Yeah, I mean the only thing that I think people have worries about would be, hey, things maybe get a little bit overextended. Like we do look at how far it is away from the ribbon. Like usually, if it's a little bit too far from the ribbon, things might either correct through time or it might correct through price, right? So that could be a little bit worrisome to people. But so far, the trend is still bullish. And if you have a longer time frame mindset, like even if it goes down, correct, like there's no warning sign quite just yet. But the higher you buy it, the more you're going to be exposed to risk, right? As opposed to buying down.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
exactly.
imagine if up here from the last cycle, you're buying, very high here, and then you end up getting kind of close to the top. Then the system is still going to be able to give you a sell signal here, so you're not going to lose more than, even though you might end up not making that much gain if you end up buying later on in the bull cycle. but you're still going to be able to avoid the big,
Okay.
bad downtrend for 2022.
You
So
know, I go back to look at the monthly chart more than 10 times. I mean, the monthly chart of NVIDIA. I know how to time. I know how to time the pop before the yellow candle shows up. Do you want to know the trick?
I would love to know all your tricks and all.
Absolutely. Please, Danny.
Yes. So yeah, yes, yellow candles, all our followers know that yellow candle are bad sign because they mean the downtrend is coming. However, if you find the monthly candle simply touch the apex, the top of the red ribbon, so that's a warning sign. So if you take a look at the last yellow candle, so take a look at the previous monthly candle before the yellow candle, you will find that it almost touched the apex, the top, the top level of the ribbon, the red ribbon. So that's the first warning. And when the yellow candle show up, so that's the final warning.
Yeah. And I think it doesn't necessarily apply to all stocks. I think this is NVIDIA specific.
Yeah,
the reason why this is because when it goes on a bull trend, it goes very, very parabolic. And whenever it starts to touch the ribbon after going on a parabolic bull trend, you really have to start worrying about exhaustion. I think that's what Danny is referring to, because normally it doesn't like to touch the ribbon at all. But when it does, it's like, oh, it's getting tight.
That's the first warning on the monthly chart. I mean, it doesn't apply to daily chart or the weekly chart, but it applies to the monthly chart for most of the stocks. So I'm going to make use of some more stocks for illustration later if we have time. But for the time being, let's just focus on the chart, the monthly chart of NVIDIA.
But the bottom line is there's really not any sign of exhaustion yet based on the red ribbon continues to expand.
Exactly. The red ribbon still keeps expanding, keeps widening instead of narrowing or tightening.
Yeah.
If you look at the last part, the last monthly chart, and also the last part of the red ribbon, actually curving up, instead of narrowing. Yeah, and this matches very well with the increase in wealth accumulation to almost 99.9 to almost 99.9%, almost 100%.
Yeah, and if you love MACD like Matt, you can see that it's been expanding. I'm just kidding. Matt doesn't like MACD, but it's like we've really been expanding out. So this is a very, very nice bull trend. RSI has been pointing up too. There's so far there's no warning sign. But next thing you never know though, right? Next thing you know, a yellow candle could come at any time. But so far there's no warning sign, so there's no need to really worry. We'll see. We'll keep following it. Anything else to add on the monthly here, Danny?
Yeah, the monthly chart is very clear. Actually, you don't need very complexity to understand. So everything's clear, everything's very straightforward. So the red ribbons just keep unfolding. The wealth accumulation reached more than 99%. And in panel 2, the trend line keeps curving up the purple line, which is good. The red bars.
It's just ridiculously strong.
Extremely strong. The 5 panels actually, NVIDIA satisfy from panel 1 to panel 5. Also, every panel, it is doing well. It's doing an excellent job.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, sentiment, people are still scared. But anyway, that's a different story.
Exactly. Yeah. If you ask retail investors if they want to buy NVIDIA or Tesla, I'm sure that most of them would pick the latter instead of the former.
Yeah, which is an interesting psychology, but
yeah, exactly.
But anything else to
theory,
add? Anything else to add, Danny? I'll probably let Matt take the floor.
But my strategy in a bullish cycle is that always add the winners, So that's why I like the stock which brings me good luck, which brings me good fortune, and I like to add the winners rather than the one which keeps doing very low.
Yeah.
And one more thing is that don't let your emotions get in your way. So sometimes when we are doing the trading or when we're investing, so many times we let our emotions dictate our trading. And very often we end up in tragedies. So that's why never let your emotions get in your way. So focus on the whales, focus on the trend the whales create for us instead of focusing on our convictions or emotions.
Yeah, unless if the retails are scared, then he gets excited.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a different story for a different time. Matt, you want to share yours, and then Tracker, you might want to weigh in after that. I'm gonna stop I'm sharing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Can you see? Yeah, there we go.
Yes.
So I had to rescale my. This is the log scale. I'll just share the log scale because we already know it's very bullish. There's nothing denying that. And essentially, this new scale is like this is the 45-degree angle, the green right here. Let me just take off my magnet. It's annoying me. Yeah, and you can see how important that angle has been throughout time, all the way up, right? And there's the first level. It hit initially, came up back to the 45, back to that level to the arcs, and essentially rode the whole way up. And finally, what do we kind of see now is like last week, it closed above that green line, right? So what that really entails, what that really means is this is breaking another level. Like it already broke that blue level down here. Like it got rejected the very first hit there, back down, but this time it broke free. So does that mean it's got a clear shot up to the 200s? It's a possibility, right? So as long as this, in my opinion, this is kind of like the new support zone, like the 120s, the low 120s, 122, maybe a little bit below. That's a new support zone. And if it does follow like history back here, what I can show you is essentially, let me just change that a little bit. Essentially, we saw something similar where it broke free, back tested, went up to the orange arc. So could it do the same thing this time? Like break free, back test, and go up to the arc? Then that could be the end of the bull run. I mean, that's a possibility into the 200s, and then maybe a long bear market, maybe back to the 45, which could be down to the 40s or 50s, you know? So I see that as one possibility. So that's basically all I need to share right now. But the biggest development is it's breaking a level right here. So that's not a bearish indicator at all.
Yeah, if you're talking about going from 120 up to like the bottom of the arc or even the top of the arc, you're talking about like double and tripling potentially, right? Doubling mostly, yeah.
Well, yeah, the bottom of the arc would be 250. The top of the arc would be almost 400.
Yeah, which is
depending on time.
Yeah, which is not bad. Like if you hit like 250 or 300 depending on time, that's like almost double.
I think I would sell at 200. I don't want to wait for.
But you have to wait for your red candles or your yellow candles.
So back to something about Nvidia. In 2021, I remember after the stock split price level, it was trading like 160 something to 170 something, and within 6 months, it was doing 2x, another 2x, up to 340 something, in November 2021. So all these 2x was happening in just 6 months. So I think history is going to repeat again, hopefully.
Yeah, I kind of see that happening too.
Yeah,
and especially this breaking this
probably
level.
we don't have to wait until 2025. Probably could be this November or December. I don't know. just a wild guess.
It's a possibility, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Like there's no bearish momentum at all. So the thing is, it's just wants to go higher, so let it go higher.
All right, do you want to see my
to share, Tracker?
Yeah, I'll do my little see.
Don't worry if it's little, Tracker. Size doesn't matter.
I know.
Just your tada me.
Share your screen. Oh, there you go.
I'll do my
I really enjoy hearing Matt speak Mandarin. I think he's got a very beautiful, very formal accent.
We'll do that later. We'll save that for the end.
Yes, please, please.
Nali, Nali.
All right, I let all my followers know that I'm 100% bullish on NVIDIA now. I'm not like trying to
Yeah,
short it or anything
Nah,
anymore.
100%.
100% bullish on NVIDIA. I like that heading.
And
Inverse tracker, just like inverse grammar now.
no. I've got people that invoke that a lot. They say, "Oh, because on what I said on Friday, there's a potential for stock to open and go to 194 and then push down." And instead, on Friday, just yesterday, it opened and just immediately started to go down. So like, oh, I wasn't looking for it to go to 194. I was just saying for Tesla, I was just saying that there's a chance it could, like, be on the lookout for that, because I had people that were saying they wanted to short it. I'm like, well, just wait and see if it goes higher first, because there's that danger. Let's see, NVIDIA on the daily chart. I kind of like to go back to when I was working with the Elliotician group, not working for them, but just like I was like a paid member of ElliotWaveTrader.net. And we used to look really hard at the 2020. Let me do the weekly chart. We look really hard at this the 2020 pandemic low. Right here. It looks so tiny now, right? Remember when it was so huge? The pandemic low. Oh my God, the world is
Size
ending.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, now the size doesn't matter. So before, when we used to do Elliott Wave polls on this, we'd go way back in time. We'd pick some sort of mystery low price, and we would just go to the top of the pandemic and the bottom of the pandemic, and then do it from there. And then missed it again. Right there. So if you look and see where we are now compared to that, well, it's off the chart. Like, I don't even do Elliott waves, past 4.618, 4.764. It's too big now. So I've taken to using the bottom of the pandemic as my wave start now, and it's working out much better. And I'm doing this for all my stocks now, and it's the low pandemic low works as an excellent anchor. It's sort of like a great reset of the whole cycle. And Avi Gilbert and his group over there, I love those guys. But Avi, last time I checked, is still looking for a 100-year cycle end to the Great Bull Run, and that it's going to all collapse, and we're going to get knocked back to prices for the 1970s or something. And I don't see that. I see us more like, there's this great TED Talk called the Great History Project, or rather, there's a TED Talk that the Great History Project came out of, and the fellow there talks about how the universe itself goes through these thresholds of complexity. That once you pass through that threshold, there's no going back. So after the Big Bang, once the universe was able to cool enough, or just like the energy was able to dissipate far enough out from itself, it could form like the very first atoms. Like that was a point in which you couldn't go back from having atoms to having no atoms. That was like the first threshold of complexity. And then after that, you get further cooling and dissipation, and you get you get the first stars. You get the first wave of stars formed from. I know it's esoteric, but it's really, all these things connect to in my brain. So like the helium and the hydrogen get together, or rather, hydrogen gets together to make the first stars.
Yeah.
Helium, those stars cool down and die, and then you get the first complex elements. Like number 3 is lithium, right? You get the first lithium atoms, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway.
I'm gonna whip you into shape and talk about NVIDIA.
So all right, just skipping to the end. After the age of information and computers, that was a threshold of complexity, and now we're at the threshold of AI.
Yeah.
And this right here marks a new, like, you just have to start the whole thing over again. Like, go back in time, and like all this stuff doesn't even matter anymore. Those prices that we used to care so much about back in 2013, 2015, 2016, they're just a line to us now.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, skipping ahead, here's our nice big, look at the size of this 1-2 for NVIDIA. So now, where we are now, oh, we were still, I'm gonna have to pick up a better number. But currently, we just struck a high of 132.84, which is over my 3.74 fib. Let's bring in a 400% fib. And let's put in a 4.5 just for comparison. All right, so we just crossed the 400% fib off of that whole move. And you can see the confluence. I mean, it works really well. 764. Actually, after the wave 2 bottom, it went immediately for the 1-2-3-6. It kind of back tested the 618-236. And then we had this all the oscillation we had just before the split. No, that's not before the split, but this is like 1 to 123.6. Then back test the 2-3-3-6, and now here we are. We just crossed the 400% mark, and I do kind of get cute with the stock sometimes because I'm just a degenerate gambler at heart. I sold my NVDQ on Thursday, just after we touched this high. And I'm just looking to see if you can see these tiny little black arrows. Let me go back to the daily chart. I'm just looking for possibly a teeny weeny pullback. And then I'm going to slam right back into my NVDQ. So let's see if it comes back to at least maybe this R1 on the 4-hour chart, maybe possibly lower. It already touched the 3764 right here with this wick, but maybe it just wants to, retest about 125. And I could be wrong, and it'll just keep going up, and then I'll just buy it back.
I mean, it's kind of a little bit confluent with what Matt was showing too, right? Like around the 120s, you have a horizontal zone that we broke out from, and it might backtest it before going up higher. We just don't know when it's going to backtest, if it's going to backtest. That's always a mystery.
Right now I've seen Matt's talk about it. Maybe we're just going to go higher.
It's possible,
before it backtests this.
It's possible,
and I might just buy my position right back on Monday. We'll see. I'll get a gut feeling for it.
Because it's hard to know the exact levels. It's also about like the risk reward ratio too, right? If you want to try to capture that little move right there, but if you end up missing like the big gains, that's always a tough part during a bull market.
I had some really good gains here, so I locked them in.
And you can certainly take profit. Like there's nothing wrong with that, But it's always tough to look for the exact pullback level to buy back. And you can do a very good job of it. Like if you use Elliott Wave, if you are suspecting things are looking a little bit exhausted. But even it's hard. Like I don't know. Like if you look at you have the MCDX right there. Is that helping you?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it looks like, I don't know, according to the chart, when I realized now actually when I did this last, I even moved up again. Instead of pulling it from the pandemic low, I came up to this one right here. So let me just do that one real quick. Just for record, where I've got this marked out, we'd exceed 161, about 164.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and just delete this for a second, or I'll just hide it. I'll delete it. And let's go from, I did this one. Let's try this as the wave start, February 21st of this year. And then it reached a high right there. Looks like a good place for a 1 and a 2 down here at 75, was 750. Remember, if you follow a real blonde broker, 888 was her level for the longest time. She traded this whole range really successfully around 888 or now would be $88.80.
Yeah.
So I've got this going. Is it? Oh, you know what? I think I was looking for the 2764, but I just pulled it back down a little bit to kind of denote that I wasn't sure if it would stop at a 2618 or 2764. But this is sort of my target range for the wave 5 top out. And then all that happens after that is it just comes back and look for this tool real quick. It yeah, like my target is sort of a range between
Yeah.
these two. Why didn't we there?
Yeah.
And then but yeah, then we just get like
Okay.
do a quick I'm sorry, I know we have to do Palantir here. Let me just this to backward to the
Mhm.
two where I started, and then an ABC down, hiding behind here. I love to just draw these things on the fly. 3, 2, 6.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe
So
it pulls back to, oh, look, now we're back to almost Matt's
yeah.
125 again. So
Yeah.
maybe we get all the way to 160, pulls back to 125.
Yeah.
And then you know what I do next? Sure you can guess. I just pull a new 1, 2. I say, this is the 1.
Mhm.
Or, I'm sorry, that's the wave start. Here's the 1, here's the 2.
Dude.
And we're
Yeah.
off to the races again. And my
Man.
764 is at 195.
Yeah.
And then skip ahead to the 1382 is at 251.
Yeah.
And then 2382 is 340.
Yeah.
And so just NVIDIA just keeps on trucking. And that's me. So I'm gonna stop sharing and you can
So you're
if
seeing
you
it
have then
potentially hitting like the high 300s.
exactly.
You're possibly seeing it hits like the high 300s on wave 3, basically.
Yeah. And then like
Yeah.
the wave 5 of this. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like if you look at the whole thing as a larger degree, wave 3.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the wave 5 might be like wave 3 might be like closer to maybe breaking out the arc that Matt was showing, maybe around like 300, and then it can correct down a little bit, and then wave 5 might be just a little bit pushed up to maybe the top of the arc, maybe.
Yes.
Speculation. Yeah.
So, the way Matt says.
Yeah.
1382, 100, and 2382. This is how I chart all the growth stocks.
Yeah.
It simply goes from my wave start to the 1, 2.
Okay.
I go up 764, then down to
Yeah.
382, up to 1382, down to 100%, and up to 2382. And it works for all the growth stocks just about every time. Tesla, Nvidia,
Except for Zoom.
Except
Zoom made it all-time low.
yeah, that's a different story for a different time. But yeah, no, so thank you for sharing that. I'm gonna move on back to Danny's chart here.
Okay.
Let me see. So I think I mean I've also made a little bit of video too when in terms to like what I think about NVIDIA. I follow the Bollinger Band if you're interested in what I think in terms of when it'll top. Like I'm not really necessarily calling a level or anything like that. I'm just looking for like trend exhaustion, looking for Bollinger Band to really, just collapsing again before I get worried. That together with Danny's buy signal, on the monthly chart, when it becomes a sell signal, that's when I would be really more scared. So you don't necessarily have to look at levels, but if you're looking for like more precise level, daily wave can help, GAN can help. I guess that's the more the story. So we're gonna move on to Palantir. This is the daily chart for Palantir that Danny has provided. Danny, you still alive?
Yes, I'm still alive.
Go for it.
So if you take a look at the daily chart of Palantir, I think that it's not that bad. So why did I say so? Because first of all, if you take a look at panel 1, we have the red ribbon, which represents an uptrend in the midterm, and we have the last red candle. The last red candle actually now I will just interpret this red candle in 2 ways. For example, in the red ribbon, when you see the red candle, that's a strong buy signal. And in the blue ribbon, if you find the red candle, that would be the signal of the final phase of correction or pullback. So in other words, the bottoming of the last phase of the bottoming process. So actually, the last red ribbon appeared in the last part of the blue ribbon on the daily chart of Palantir. So that's a confirmation of the final phase in the pullback. And if you take a look at panel 3, so we find some well accumulation, even though it's not very healthy, around 17 or 18%. However, we find a very significant decline in retail accumulation, which is a promising sign for us.
Yeah. The green is really
Yeah, I particularly like the last part of what I just mentioned, a significant drop in
Yeah.
retail accumulation to almost just 2%.
Yeah.
Let me double check. Sorry, hold
It's,
on. 6.8%. I'm
yeah, it's
sorry.
got to be more than 2%, but yeah, it's still very
Yeah,
low.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, still very low. So
Yeah.
I don't have to care much about the retail accumulation, the heavy retail accumulation, which appear in the middle part of
Yeah.
panel 3. And as you will see, when all these green bars disappear,
Yeah.
it's the right time for the stock to run.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
it did over here
So
last time where it went up a lot.
yeah, yeah. So that's why I'm waiting for the signal. So actually, I see some well accumulation from time to time, but sometimes the whales came in and they have to shake the weaker
Yeah.
retails out. Yeah, so that's why I can see some of these gestures in panel 3. They
Yeah.
came in twice. If you take a look at the last 6 bars, so they came in twice. However, they try to shake out this weaker retail.
Yeah. Yeah. Because everybody's going to call, oh, this is like a double top. It's going to go back down, like
Yeah,
everybody's
exactly.
scared.
Yeah.
Like there's a gap filled down at like 19 or 18, this anyway, that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, we don't really need to care about all this gap filling myth,
Unless you're mad, but anyway, yeah, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna move on to the weekly chart here.
Yes.
I think there's a bullish development that's happening on the weekly.
So if you take a look at the weekly chart, what makes you happy?
I'm happy because I'm just happy in general, but I'm also happy because the red ribbon on the weekly really hasn't disappeared for a very long time, for months and months and months.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and then
So
on top of that, it's just been doing these kind of cyclical moves where it makes a big move and then it cools down for like 2 or 3 months, makes a big move and it cools down for 2 or 3 months, makes a big move, cools down for 2 or 3 months, maybe 4 months now.
yeah.
And right now you had a red candle. We like red candles.
Yes.
Red
Yes,
candles
the
are
red
good
candle.
whenever you want
And
to have
once
the
again,
confluence of whales. Yeah.
very small in size, but it doesn't matter. So I have to repeat
But it could
repeat our
it could
catchphrase.
thrust very well. It could thrust very well.
Yes. It functions well. Don't worry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And actually, I like this red candle in 2 ways. First way is a bullish confirmation,
Yeah.
and the second way, it has actually engulfed the last yellow candle.
Yeah. Very nice.
So that's why. Well, and also it came at the perfect timing, especially when the red ribbon has been just tightening. So when it's tightening, we're just scared that the blue ribbon, the downtrend is coming. However, the red candle saved us from this downtrend.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you can also see the whales are also in supportive too for that.
Exactly. So
Even though the ribbon is tightening, it's very interesting. Like the ribbon's tightening, but the whale momentum is increasing, which is very
exactly.
interesting. Yeah.
And the whales are cooperative this time. So you will find that especially the last 3 or 4 bars in panel 3. So actually the whale accumulation is picking up, has been picking up. Yeah. And also the technical indicators like MACD actually is doing a curl.
Yeah.
So I think given this price level and given the red candle, I think next week probably we will find the MACD is going to do or complete the golden cross. I don't know, but there's a big possibility based on my guess.
Yeah, they definitely bought the news of S&P 500 rejection, which is a bullish.
Yes. Yeah, it is. I think it doesn't matter if you get included or not. Take a look at Uber. So last time we shared that Uber and SMCI when they got included in S&P 500.
Yeah.
They were in a downtrend, So they were doing the pullback for 2 or 3 months. So I think sometimes it's a good thing not to be included in S&P 500 because there's still hope. There's still hope next time,
Yeah, I know it's actually good that it's going up on it because if there's any additional bullish news on it, then it can have room to even go higher. So
Yeah.
I'm going to pull up the monthly here. Anything else on
Yeah.
the weekly before I do that? No? Okay.
Oh, yes. One more thing before I forget. So you will find a very strong resistance level in panel 1, 24.2.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is, so remember, this week we Palantir really went up to 24 something.
Yeah.
Let me double check. Yeah.
Yeah. It did got
Yes,
rejected.
yes, 24.2, sorry, hold on, 24.33. So
Yeah.
very close to this resistance level. Actually, it went slightly above this resistance level.
Yeah.
However, it didn't close above it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why this price level still as a very strong level.
Yeah.
So that's why one day Palantir has to go beyond this level for the real soar.
Yeah,
to
but
happen.
you do have whalish momentum coming in. You do have a red ribbon.
Exactly.
You need the support.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I think
we
it's
have
probably looking decent, but there's
yeah
no
we have
guarantee. Yeah.
yeah we have everything. We have the well accumulation. We have the reduction in retail
Yeah.
accumulation. We have the red candle,
Yeah.
and we need more catalysts.
Yeah.
So probably we need more fundamentals to cooperate with the technicals, so that
Yeah.
the bullish trend can keep going.
Yeah. All right. Now I'm going to do the beautiful monthly chart that you have here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the monthly charts, the red ribbon is very important because this is a very clear, almost 100% reliable indicator telling us that the bull trend is going to persist for a long time.
Size.
Sorry?
I said size matters. But anyway.
Size? Yes, yes. Well, yeah,
Not
the
so
last
much
red candle.
Yeah, not so much the rectangle size, but like
No.
the ribbon size and the well accumulation.
Yes.
So size
Yeah,
matters.
and yeah, Kat, you are very good at drawing. Can you just draw the remaining part of this red ribbon on Twitter for us?
It's gonna I don't know, it's gonna keep widening. I mean that's all I can say.
Yeah, and as you can see, the red ribbon keeps curling up instead of down. Yeah, so that's why I think there's still plenty of upside if you are still not in Palantir. And the well accumulation in panel 3 also confirms such bullish trend.
Yeah.
And also the reduction in retail accumulation.
Yeah.
And the technical indicators like MACD, RSI, they are all curving up.
Yeah.
So I think once again from panel 1 to panel 5, every signal is very clear, very straightforward, and very bullish.
Yeah.
One more thing. Those resistance levels. So let me double check. So we've got 22.6 as the first resistance level, and Palantir has really overcome it. And the next one should be 24.6, which is very close to 24.2 on the weekly chart. And the next one should be 26.9.
Yeah.
So above all this resistance level is just thin air, as you have already mentioned on Twitter. And the last blue bar is 35.4. So that's why sometimes I see somebody's predict price at 30 something, 35 something. So actually it makes sense, And this is also the predict price of the cup and handle pattern on the weekly chart.
Yep. So the
my numbers,
the very
my
important
numbers match up exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's very important to notice like why the volume shelf formed here, right? Is because price are kind of stuck around this range, around like 20 to 27 for about a whole year here in 2020, 2021. And there's a lot of stock that's being traded hands here. There's a lot of back holders up here that might end up trying to dump, their supply to you. This is why this is a resistance zone, right? And it's been attacking this resistance zone for about 5 months now. So I think that there's a good chance that we're going to end up breaking above that relatively soon. And I think most likely within 2024. And once that happens, it's probably going to be pretty bullish. So
I've got a very interesting take on that when it's my turn.
Yes. Yeah.
You can
yes,
talk.
Please.
Please do. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. All right. Let's share my screen.
Okay.
Share your screen. Oh, wait, not the screen. That one.
My numbers actually matched up with Danny's numbers
Yeah.
almost to the exact as well.
So it's the time
More
controller. We have about 20 something minutes before I have to go. So it's just
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll keep it
Okay.
short. Basically, I'm
Okay.
tracking a triangle within a triangle here. So what I saw here was that price wanted to move up. It hits this $27.50 level, Palantir,
Yes.
and then it
Mm.
immediately pushes down. So whenever I see
Yes.
a trend attempt and then it pushes down, then I believe a triangle is in play. And you can see, in fact, this bullish triangle moved up, was going up. It crashes down. We have this sell off, this blow off top here, and it comes right back, slams right back down again. And so we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm looking for a double tap to the top of resistance, crashes back down, a double tap of support, and then breakout. And it's just because of the scale of the chart here. It looks like it goes out that direction, but it's actually more like it's going to break out like that. Yeah, that's kind of it. So I'm trading this range.
Yeah.
I bought down here
Yeah.
around 2150. I've been riding it all the way up. Well, let's see, I rode all the way up to 2440-ish, sold before the top, and it came back down, and that's where we are now. It's recovering in the smaller degree. Triangle, does it go so far now? Well, don't worry about this little triangle, but basically, it is going to come back up to test this. Again, this is this point here and this point here form a resistance trend. It's going to break the trend to make everyone think, oh, it's breaking out, it's breaking out. And then they'll like all hit the buy button. And then that's when the whales just sell to us. And then they sell hard to push it back down. So they'll sell back to them just as quickly, sell the shares we just bought at a discount to them. And they run it back, they do the trick twice. And it works really well, even stronger the second time. And then the whole thing sells off. And that's how I track these triangles. So I'm trading this whole range. I'm going to go up to here. I don't have a way to short Palantir through shares. I mostly trade with my 401k, which doesn't let me do options. So I'll just wait for this to come down, and then I'll rebuy Palantir down here again. If I'm wrong, and we just got a W-shaped recovery, that's great. You know, if it tests back down to this support trend, or I'm sorry, resistance trend. If it goes over this resistance trend, tests back down to it, and it keeps going up and goes past where I think it's too far, I'll just keep holding it. Or if it forms this new trend with this price, comes down, gets over it, then tests back to this as support, then I know I need to just keep holding it and let it run. But otherwise, I'm expecting more consolidation after getting a slightly higher high than this blow off top, but it won't exceed this. I mean, no, it won't exceed this.
There are going to be a lot of traders who are thinking the very similar thing. Like they're going to end up trying to sell around like 25, 27 range. And that's what they've been doing, right? I mean, a range works until it doesn't. And they're going to be traders. They're going to bring volatility and going to try to sell the top of the range. So it's hard to know whether or not we're at a point where we're going to break through, because there's a very important, resistance up top, right? So if it could, your scenario could very well play out, it's just hard to know for sure, because it could, like you said, also be a W-shaped bottom as well. So
yeah, these don't happen all the time.
Yeah.
But I always look, I'm always keeping my eye out for it. Because if I see a sudden reversal, it's like, oh, well, I was expecting it.
Yeah.
Here's opportunity knocking again.
Yeah, if it does that, then that's great. Then we get to load up even more, because I think all of us are pretty bullish on it in the long term.
Yeah, let me go to the weekly chart.
Yep.
Just need to do this. Nope, let me do this. Yeah, I've got my wave 5 tops out at 49,
Yep.
41.
Yeah.
For now. And then of course that just corrects down 3 waves, and that becomes the greater degree 1, 2.
Yeah.
And I'm using the DK, the Turtle Traders thing that you turned me on to, Kat.
Yeah.
The MCDX Plus is this one down here. And I wish that it, oh wait,
It's basically very similar to what Danny is showing too. You know, it's
Yes.
basically it's like very similar data. So
I'm liking it very much. The only problem is like it prints the numbers so small down here. I can't read them on my screen. I
yeah,
have to just screenshot and then put it up here and then blow it up to read it.
yeah, yeah.
But other than that, it's been fantastic. I'm really loving
Yeah, it's a good tool. It's a good tool. I have very similar target, but mine may be a little bit higher for like 3 to 5 year time range. But yeah, that's
it. Yeah,
what
this is I look at like the next one, and then after I trade that, then I pull up the next one. But yeah, I could do it for you real quick if you want me to do it. Or I can just I'm ready to relinquish if you want to.
let me talk. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I do want I
Okay.
do want them to speak Chinese at the end. So
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
我不说，
你可以说 Tracker 很好人，是不是？Tracker 是一个非常好的人，Tracker 是不是？We're talking about how great you are, Tracker.
我们可以说坏话。
I hear my name being used a lot, so you must be talking about it.
Matt， 你
OK
可以
OK。
把你的 chart
哦耶，
啊，
不好意思。
现在是你说话的时候。It's time for Matt to pull up his chart, but he's too distracted talking about how great Tracker is in Chinese. So
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay, anyways, so here's my chart. So I'm confused now. Okay. Anyways, so yeah, the levels that I was looking at was this orange level here, which was pretty much 2460 right here, what you were talking about, Danny.
Yes.
And that is the level to basically break above and then to go higher. And then the other level was like 3550 or something, which kind of like lines up with the arc and that angle like right up here as well. So like when you were saying your numbers, it was basically identical to what I was looking at here at the same time. But yeah, essentially it's pretty obvious where support has been. And that kind of lines up with your ribbon as well. Basically the arc here, and essentially once it breaks 2450 or 60, it should be able to continue higher and higher. So that's what I'm looking at. And if I do turn on the Ichimoku here for the weekly, we can see it finally closed above the past 2 weeks above the conversion line too. So that's just even more confidence that it might be ready to break out.
yeah, I know a few weeks ago you were mentioning that there's a possibility it could hit the arc again underneath, you know, and which is going to be confluent with the cloud underneath as well. But it looks like it's trying to reclaim the conversion. It looks like it wants to, you know, push through that resistance up above at some point.
Yeah, so that's what I'm really seeing. Basically, like the baseline held well, the conversion was broken, so now everything is really 100% bullish on the Ichimoku, and it's really been testing this orange line many times here, and essentially it's just a matter of time before it breaks above.
Yeah. I'm not gonna make you quote the monthly Ichimoku cloud.
I could. It's fine.
But if you do, you're gonna see something very nice about the conversion line there as well.
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
Look at how nice
it might not even break down.
Yeah, like it's just pushed. It's like like tapping at the price, like at the little bit bottom right there, just tapping up a little bit to try and, hey, you know, go through that little horizontal line right there. So yeah, it's looking pretty nice.
Yeah, there's nothing bearish about this really. So it's just a matter of time, in my opinion, that it's just going to break this level and go.
Yeah, you can change back to the weekly now. Thank you so much, Matt.
No problem. No, that's all I got.
Do you have any targets moving forward, like looking again in terms of like time and price and things like that overall in terms of cycle? Like you're saying that it's going to go up the angle. Any thoughts about longer term? Yeah.
So the orange level is basically already met. So who knows when I'll get to the blue, but the blue level sits around 102, maybe 10, 100, 101, 102, 101, around there.
Yeah.
But I'm basically seeing, I don't know, if this stays as resistance, it could take a long time to get there, maybe 2025 September. But if it goes, I mean, we've seen multiple times where it just has many weekly candles in a row green. So if that happens again, it could probably shoot up there pretty quickly. And didn't Kathy Wood say Palantir can compete with Microsoft or something recently? I'm pretty sure she said that.
I'm pretty sure too. Yeah.
I think it was like just recently she said that. So I mean, if that's the case, then this can really go much higher. So just a matter of time.
Yeah, it's been building a very solid base over here. Like I think it's all reaccumulation over the last year, to be honest. So it's forming a very solid base. It could go higher. Whether or not it's going to hit like 100, 2027, 26 or 25, I don't know. It's always tough because you still have a lot of resistance, right? But if you get above
Yeah.
25, 27, then technically it's like to us is price exploration. To us layman is price exploration. To Matt, there's no such thing as price exploration because everything is blue. So,
I mean, just look at these charts. They look like they're going to be predetermined, right?
yeah, yeah. It's just a matter. It's hard to know exactly which point, but the resistance and support zones are there.
I've
So
got 3131 as the wave 4 resistance before pushing up to that. Is it 40, 49,
31,
41
31.
target? Yeah, 31,
Oh,
31
49?
to 49, 41 or 49, 40. Yeah, 31, 31 to 49, 41 is wave 4, then wave 5.
I see. So it's going to be
Okay.
pretty confluent with that arc and the angle, maybe. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, like 41 would be kind of up here.
yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah. So it could be sticking to this angle for a while. So we'll see. I mean,
yeah,
it already really has been sticking to that angle for a long time, you can see.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
So
So we have
That's
another.
interesting.
We,
Just
we have
real quick,
another.
I just want to say, where other charts do the growth ones do 764,382, 100%, 1382. Palantir just lately, I think since it touched this arc, it's been doing like the 236, 618, then or I'm sorry, 618, then 236, then
Yeah,
1236, then 2236 for the Fibonacci ratios.
oh, okay.
Just if anybody out there in
yeah,
Fibonacci land is trying to follow my Fibonacci ratios on this.
yeah. I mean, I think I think Matt also does Fibonacci's quite often, try to find targets, try to find confluence.
Oh yeah, he does.
Yeah, I don't know whether or not you're also seeing any Fibonacci levels that are, they're interesting you as well.
I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, the 7-1 is right there.
yeah, yeah. So $25, it's a strong
Yeah.
resistance. And then if you get above
Yeah.
it, yeah, it could be the 0.886 would be around 35, which is
Yeah.
where there's a lot, there's another volume shove up there that Danny was showing. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, this is a log scale fib too. I can pull up the
And
linear
your
scale if you guys
100% is
want.
right there about my target. Well, it's this yours is 44.94, and I've got 49.41,
yeah,
just a little bit
Yeah.
more.
yeah.
Like linear scale fib will be a little bit different, but yeah, this is the log scale.
Cool. All right, we have another 13, 14 minutes or so.
So
Originally,
Bitfarms or no?
yeah, we have a little bit more charts, but I think we might be a little bit running a little bit out of time.
Okay.
What I could do is I could show like maybe if you guys want to talk about like Bitfarms or something, I can show Danny's chart real quick, and then I can go and you guys can continue.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
or,
totally
or
fine.
unless if you guys think that it's been 2 hours, you guys are tired, feel free to call it a day, call it a night.
Hanging out with you guys
I could just
invigorates me.
I could just quickly show them before you go on mine
Yeah,
here.
Yes.
yeah,
Yes, please.
Yeah, so essentially I see something that could be possible what's happening to Iris Energy, Iron. Like it's
Okay.
honestly breaking above levels here, and it's looking like it has the potential to go back up to this blue level here, which would be around like a $7 bit farm. That's what I'm really
Ooh.
seeing.
I'm sorry.
Because
This is Big
honestly,
Farm.
yeah, bit farm.
Bitfarms, yeah,
Okay.
BITF,
Okay.
yeah, that's the one that you
Okay.
also are interested in too. So
Yes.
Yes. So basically, this angle's been holding nicely, and it got flipped back to support along with the arc. So it looks like it could be clear sailing back up to the arc and the level of like from $5 to $7
yeah,
sometime in the future.
put up the Ichimoku cloud too. I think it shows a even better picture in terms of what's been happening too, because there's a lot of confluence
Yeah.
at the support zone that it's been finding.
Yeah, and it just broke above the baseline there too,
Yeah.
so that's good.
It broke the baseline. It
Yeah.
got bounced from the conversion, and it also got very close to the cloud, and it just couldn't break down underneath of it. So
Yeah, I mean this all lined up perfectly with the arcs and the angles and stuff with the cloud, so it's really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can give it over to you. Oh, and the cloud is just turning green again too over here. Nice.
I'm going to be
Yeah.
piling into this
Anyway.
on Monday.
It's looking pretty nice. Let me see. Yeah, so I also have Danny's Bitfarms chart over here too. He's given me
Hang on,
some
we're still showing Matt's chart.
some data.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I stopped sharing. Go ahead.
Okay. So this is Danny's daily chart, Danny's weekly chart, and Danny's monthly chart. I'm going to shut up and let Danny talk here, but please be mindful. I have to go in 10 minutes, so go for it. No pressure.
Okay. So on the daily chart, we found the red candle, which appeared this Thursday. And okay, I just make it as quick as possible if you don't mind. If you turn to the weekly chart, I think the weekly chart had also the red candle from 3 weeks ago. So in other words, we have double confirmation from the weekly red candle and also the daily red candle. And the weekly red candle is important for us because it signaled the end of the correction phase. And because if you take a look at that last weekly candle, actually is it closed about the apex of the blue ribbon. So which means that probably if I'm going to do well in the coming weeks, so probably we are probably going to have the red ribbon, which is the uptrend. And also, if you take a look at panel 3, we find a very sharp increase actually in the well accumulation in panel 3. And also, the good thing is that the green bar has almost disappeared in the last bar. And I like the completion of the golden cross. If you take a look at panel 4, the MACD just completes the golden cross this week.
Yeah. And all the RSIs
so,
are coming up too. Yeah.
Yes. So so all the signals are very clear, very straightforward.
Yeah.
And also, if you take a look at back to panel 1, and it's also doing sort of the higher high and higher low from the weekly candles. So so for the time being, we find that there are two very strong resistance level, 2.88 and 2.95. So if we can break above them on the weekly chart, I think we still have plenty of upside.
Yeah.
And if you take a look at the monthly chart, the monthly chart is also very nice. Once again, on the monthly chart, we don't have the red ribbon yet. However, the red candle, the last red monthly candle, is a clear signal. And also you will find that in panel 3, the well accumulation has been on the steady increase.
Yeah.
And the retail accumulation has been on a steady decrease.
Yeah. You can also see that it broke back above this horizontal resistance here around 2.26.
Exactly. So you would find that probably Bitfarms is going to be stuck in between these two levels for a while before the real soul is going to happen. And in panel 2, wow, still okay. For example, the last part should be the purple line. Am I correct? So, definitely. Can you just take a closer look at panel 2? Did we see the purple line in the last part?
Yeah.
Or the green line? Because sometimes I just get confused about this trend. Now we saw the purple, right?
Yeah.
In the last part.
Yeah.
Or just say it's a mixed signal, so still we are uncertain. So anyway, so I think the most important thing is for Bitfarms to overcome these two important resistance levels.
Yeah.
Before we determine whether the ribbon is coming or not on the monthly chart.
Yeah. If it breaks to 2.9, 2.8 levels up here, I guess it's kind of clear skies up to maybe like $7, like what Matt is saying.
Exactly. I've got a chart to share with you guys. I can do it in 30 seconds if you want.
Yeah, go for it. I'm gonna stop sharing, and I might drop at any point, if I
Okay.
have to. But
This will be
please
really
feel
fast,
free.
and then you can close this out, Kat.
Yeah.
So here's a Bitfarm, and after reaching an all-time high of exactly $10, it tried once again, failed to reach that high again, dropped back down to this support level where I started my next Fibonacci sequence. So here's your wave start, your wave one, your wave two, and it looks like we're going to be looking to 420, exactly 420 for the wave one
Yeah.
start, the 764, and then we'll retest this range, and it could uh, spend some time in this wave two, stuck between the 618 and the 382, between 369 and where we are now at 287.
Yeah.
But once it gets back above 420, it should be going to 637,
Yeah.
back to $5, then up to 988 to retest, but slightly fail on this next attempt,
Yeah.
reach that all-time high of 10 again. And
Yeah.
of course, it'll just go down 3 waves, and that forms the 1-2, and then we get it going
And then
higher.
go higher. Yeah. So this is going to be like the wave three, the sub waves for wave three that you have. Yeah. Yeah. Which means that it can challenge its all-time high and go up even higher than that afterwards.
Exactly. So from here, I would just say 382, 236, 618. That comes back to right between 3 and 4,
Yeah.
554, and
Yeah.
that becomes your wave
Wave four. Yeah.
1, 2, and skip to the end. The 2382 is up here at
Don't get me too excited.
$14.44.
You're getting me hot and bothered.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to be buying this on Monday.
So
I never even
it's
heard
interesting. So a couple of things too, like if you look at like a level like 2.8, 2.9 is a confluent zone, right? And that I love that arrow. Anyway, 2.8, 2.9 is a confluent zone. 4.2 around there, I think it's actually going to be like the new formation of the monthly Ichimoku cloud. So around like where you have around 4.2, that could be a confluent zone of resistance there too. Yeah, if you pull up the monthly Ichimoku cloud, yeah. And it's just gonna get, yeah, you might not see it because it's actually gonna be, yeah, the line just started forming, but yeah, you probably just have the background of the cloud. But that's okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can do
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I see what I'm
I don't know why I've
saying.
got
Yeah.
these. I don't know why I've got these turned off. I used to just not. I just didn't pay towards this other stuff, lagging span, leading span. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Didn't
So
bother with
they
it.
basically
But
just want
I'm a
right?
huge fan of the lagging span.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, but if you look at like it's you see what I'm saying? It's right there. Your wave one right there, target. It's right there at that.
Right there.
Yeah, it's right there. So there's a lot of confluence, and your two is also going to be right around the where that the newly formed bottom of the cloud is going to be, right? So there's a lot of confluence over here in terms of what you're drawing, and you go up to 3 and go down to 4. 4 might be at the top of the Ichimoku cloud on monthly. So there's actually a lot of confluence in terms of what you're drawing. I just want to let you know.
I know. I've been doing this for years. Don't call to come back. I've been here for years.
我只是想告诉大家，Tracker 非常好。
LL Cool J. Mama said knock you out.
I know. I just wanted to show that. So that's pretty awesome, man.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, also take us out.
Don't take us out. We want to stay alive.
No. I mean, get out of the show here, Kat, Dr. Kat.
I want us to say something nice about Tracker in Chinese, each one of us, and then you guys could talk amongst Chinese, and then we can end the show in Chinese.
That's so sweet.
Okay.
张师，我觉得太晚了，我好累。
你有多累？
但是 Tracker 是很非常好的人，很简单。
是Danny 你还在吗？你要跟 Matt 说中文吗？
我在。好，
你觉得
那边几点？
你觉得这个 show 怎么样？你喜欢还是你觉得有我
非
们讲太多？
非常棒，非常棒。
我觉得太长了。
你觉得太
Size doesn't matter. Size doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, yeah.
刚
Back to live
刚
stream,
唱
5
刚
doesn't
好
matter.
，yeah，
No.
刚唱刚好啊。
Well, 我们3个, so we have 3 men and a cat, right? We have 4
Four?
here. We're
Four?
4 folks here, you know, whatever species you classify us. So 3 of us speak Chinese, one of us don't, but one of us actually, but 3 of us are kind of technically are Chinese, and one of
Yeah,
us.
I'm half Chinese. My father's from Shenzhen.
so it's interesting in terms of the
But
dynamic.
I grew up here in the States, so I never learned any Mandarin.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough language to learn. Yeah. But I just want to thank you all for coming. We're gonna try to do this often, you know, if we can, at least do like our weekly Wednesday night stream. We're able to get Danny to join us. It shares the charts. So thank you so much for joining us, Danny.
Welcome. My pleasure
thanks,
to be
Danny.
here.
Yeah, and
谢谢你的合
Thanks,
作。
thanks everybody. Oh, 不用客气. Your Mandarin is much better than mine, you know. You speak beautifully.
哪里？
and also
Your accent is really wonderful.
yeah.
No.
And for y'all, if you don't know, like one of us, we communicate with each other on comments all the time. All 4 of us, we have we like the little community that we have. We don't try to cuss. We don't try to, you know, we just focus on business for the most part. Sometimes have a little bit of offbeat jokes, but you know, feel free to follow all 4 of us if you want to, and we'll keep sharing what we share.
I highly recommend following all 4 of us, especially those other 3 the guys. They are just tremendous at what they do.
You heard it. You heard Tracker.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right, guys, let's get to that. Thanks so much for joining.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Well,
This was fantastic.
晚安，晚安，晚安，
晚安。
晚安。
All right, Tracker out, and everyone else
Yep,
out.
bye.
Bye.